Let's get started with the cube. Now, firstly, we tell someone to imagine they're in a big hall and tell them to imagine a cube. Now, the first question we ask to them about the cube is, what's the size of the cube? Large, small, or medium? Large size of the cube implies that the person is an extrovert, good self-confidence and good self-esteem, maybe a public speaker or something like that, expresses his emotions quite clearly. And then small size implies the person is an introvert. Introverts are having low self-esteem and low self-confidence, and they don't express their emotions openly. Now, the medium-sized cube is the ambivert's cube. They show characteristics of both extrovert and introvert, and generally they are selfish. Now, next question we ask about the cube is, if the cube is floating or is it on the ground? If the cube is floating, then the person has nice imagination, and if it's on the ground, then the person is a practical person. Another question we ask, if they're facing a side or if they're facing a corner. If they face a corner, they like to stay in isolated areas, and they like to isolate them and spend their time alone. And if they're facing a side, they are more comfortable in social situations. And another question is, if the cube is transparent or solid. If the cube is transparent, then the person is just like an open book, expresses quite clearly and is a straightforward person. If it's a solid, then the person is actually not an open book, doesn't let out his emotions and expressions clearly. Maybe like women do most of the times, they give us signs. Anyway, if it's a solid, generally we ask the color of it. And if it's a Rubik cube, which is a rare situation, then we ask if the Rubik cube is solved or is it unsolved. If it's solved, then the person has faced many confusing situations in life but has got past it somewhat. And if it isn't solved, then the person is having a lot of confusions in their life. Now, the next thing is, we tell them to imagine a ladder. Question we ask is the size of ladder. Ladder is actually your ambitions. So if it's small, medium, or large, and quite clearly it's directly proportional to the ambitions. If it's small, they have small ambitions, medium ambitions, and high ladder, large ladder just goes to the top of the room. It's like they have big ambitions. And if it's leaning against the cube or against a wall, if it's against the cube, then their ambitions are according to their personality, because cube actually is equal to that person's whole personality. And then we talk about the flowers. Flowers are actually, we ask them that where are they, how many, what do they look like, and what color are they. If they are over cube and if they are organized, then the person is an organized person. And if there are so many flowers and the person doesn't know, and it's not in a vase, it's unorganized, then we say that person is usually confused about things, about the friends. Flowers represent friends. And now, what do they look like and what color are they? They are generally roses for most people, and roses just implies orthodox choice. That's it. Next is the horse. Horse is the ideal lover. Now, what does it look like? Where is it, and what is it doing? What is it look like? We generally ask the color, if it's white, black, brown, or whatever. And where is it? Is it leaning against the cube? If it's leaning against the cube for support, then the horse isn't strong enough. And if it's looking towards the cube, then the person actually requires a lot of attention from their lover. And If it's doing something special like running around, then it's a cheerful horse and it's active. Quite clearly, you can fluff here as well. I won't suggest you to, but you can do anything. And last, there is a storm. Now where is it? Is it inside the room or outside? If it's inside the room, and if it's inside the room or outside, and next is if they're violent or quiet. If it's inside the room and it's quiet, then the person is actually able to, like, somewhere not able to look at their problems as a third person, but they somehow solved it. But if it's violent, the problems are not solved. And if the storm is outside, then the person is able to look at their own problems as a third person. I hope it helps. Any questions, just shoot me through. There are the links below for my Facebook and Instagram. Just ping me up with the message and your queries. Happy to help you.